Some people have been asking me about Fred Okengo Matiangi and the Gusii community, whether the Gusii people will literally support Fred Okengo Matiangi in the 2027 general election as they did turn out in the reception that Fred Okengo Matiangi had when he was doing his homecoming. And today I've done a research about this and I want to talk about it in details and what support Matiangi enjoys from the Gusii region as per now and what's expected to happen by 2027. But before I do so, if you're watching for the first time, subscribe to this channel na pia like a video. And also, if you come from Nyanza region especially, drop a comment in the comment section about this analysis. Now, the Kisii people are a bit different from other tribes, especially when it comes to making decisions. And if you've been watching, there have been empowerments that have been going to Kisii region. We have about now 3 empowerments. The empowerments that have been moving constituency to constituencies. And one thing that is coming out clear from these empowerments is that the turnout is very low. People in the Kisii men are not men who can turn out because of money or because of being told in certain words. Once they have made a decision that they are going to support you, they literally support you. And that's why for a very long time, as much as Kisii has been supporting Raila Odinga, they have also been supporting other candidates from other regions because Kisii people make decisions independently. They don't make decisions as a community. But for the first time, they have come together and agreed to support one of their own, Fred Okengo Matiangi. And I can tell you, the Kisii community is supporting Fred Okengo Matiangi, not literally because it's one of their own, but because the Kisii people are people who believe in performance. And they know that Fred Okengo Matiangi performed very well when he served as minister. The same way Nyachai also performed well when he was serving in the national government at his days. That's a reflection of also Fred Okengo Matiangi. And that's why they have come out to support Fred Okengo Matiangi. Another thing, if you follow the trend of governments in Kenya, you'll find that the docket of Ministry of Education has always been given to the Kisii people. We had even the current government, the current CS for education is Migosi, who is a Kisii. The CS who was there before the Gen Z revolution was Machogu, who is a Kisii. The other regime of President Uhuru, we had Matiangi also serving in the same docket. We have had people like Professor Sam Ongeri also serving in the Ministry of Education for quite a long time. And this is because Kisii people are people who take matters as serious, and the people who, if given, the Ministry of Education is one of the serious docket that should be given to performers. And as much as other tribes are performers, these Kisii people are believed to be one of also the topmost performers when given such serious ministries. And that's why Fred Okengo Matiangi performed very well when he was given the Ministry of Education. Actually, it's the Ministry of Education that brought him to the limelight, for him painting school buses yellow, ending up examination cheating, and even entry of the examination. A lot of people cannot remember that before Fred Okengo Matiangi, the entry to university was grade B+. That you had to get a grade B+ to get to university. This is because there was a lot of leakages and people could really pass examinations. But when Fred Okengo Matiangi came and ensured that there was no exam cheating, a C+ at that time qualified for university. And that's one of the many things that Kenyans remember Fred Okengo Matiangi for. And that's why the Kisii community cannot betray Fred Okengo Matiangi come 2027. They'll support Fred Okengo Matiangi. Another thing I want to also talk about is we have another candidate from Kisii region. That's former Chief Justice David Maraga. And the Kisii people could have supported Maraga. There's nothing absolutely wrong with David Kenani Maraga. But the problem is that happened is that Maraga came out after the people of Kisii region had already made their minds to support Matiangi. And some people felt that Maraga had come out to spoil for Matiangi because if Maraga knew that Matiangi was there, he could have literally supported Matiangi, because they come actually from the same county, that's Nyamira County. And right now, what the ground is saying is that they'll support Matiangi. Should Maraga be on the ballot, should be another Kisii candidates also stand, they are going to support Matiangi. And that's why the impression you've been seeing, you can agree with me from the turnout that happened during the reception, and you can even compare it with the turnout that's happening in the empowerment. Very low turnout, because the Kisii people have already made their mind, and these are not people who can be confused by money and certain things or certain goodies. Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing I want to talk about the Kisii people is the numbers, because in politics, numbers is also equally important. And why the candidacy of Fred Okengo Matiangi is very important for the Kisii people, because if they won't support Fred Okengo Matiangi, again they might be in the cold for a very long time before having one of them running for presidency and accepted nationally like Matiangi. The Kisii people, numbers, they don't have numbers when it comes to the community, because actually they are not among the top 5 tribes in the country. Because the top 5 tribes is the Kikuyus, the Kambas, the Luyas, the Luos, and of course our brothers from the Kalenjins. These are the 5 uh, tribes with the greater numbers. But among other tribes, the Kisii come top. They come top as the tribe with many, also a greater number among the other tribes. But the presidency of Fred Okengo Matiangi has a different dimension, because he is being perceived as a national figure. Kikuyus, Kambas, and Luos, and other people watching the channel can testify with me that Fred Okengo Matiangi is not perceived as a Kisii presidential candidate, but as a national figure, because of what I've already explained, that his performance and what he did during Uhuru's time, and is being remembered for that, and how serious he is. Remember that Fred Okengo Matiangi is somebody, if he wakes up one day as president and says that this SHA is going to work, a lot of Kenyans will trust him, because when he's been serving as minister or CS, he's promised things and they have eventually worked. If he came out and said that this funding, higher education funding model will work effectively, Kenyans will trust that, because he is known to be a performer. And that's why he's always been receiving an overwhelming support from the entire nation. Others, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to talk much about Fred Okengo Matiangi, but literally the Kisii community is fully behind Fred Okengo Matiangi. You can do your research. You can even run an opinion poll. Matiangi will always lead, be it within the Kisii people, be it nationally. Matiangi will always, the Matiangi and the opposition ticket will always lead in those opinion polls. And just go and search any polls that is being done. And some of these polls have been attracting up to more than 500,000 people. 500,000 people. And Matiangi is among the best candidates that Kenyans are preferring. Otherwise, he came back from the United States after resigning his work. We'll be seeing what steps he'll be making, or what how he's going to campaign. And remember that Matiangi is a very serious person. That when he comes to the country, he comes and you can't see those commotions or a lot of that big rallies, because he believes that we have to do this thing a different way. And he also urged Gen Z to register for voting come 2027, because it's not enough to say that we need a change when we have not registered and we are not ready to turn out and vote come 2027. Others, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, have a nice day, and always remember to subscribe. Be well.